Okay, good morning all. We will directly go to the application of Integral 2 that is on business application. Yeah. Um, okay, can you all see my screen? It is on the OneNote now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So there are four other business application that is related with the integral. Yeah, I will look at it one by one through the example. Okay, the example is I have given you on the slides also. Yeah, this is the same example as in the slide. So example one is the useful life of a machine. Useful life of a machine. So after 3 years from now, a machine will give revenue with the rate. This is the rate of revenue, R prime T rate, how revenue change with time. This is 5,000 minus this dollars a year. Okay, yeah. Operational cost is accumulated with the rate. This is the rate of the cost. That is C prime T, that is 2,000 plus this dollars a year. Okay, find the useful life of the machine and determine the profit during that period. Okay, so this is how you do it. So what we usually call the useful life of a machine. So my profit function can have up and down. Yeah. So if the profit is still up, someday the profit, this is maybe T, this is profit P. Okay. Someday the profit will be going down, a decreasing function, but it's still a positive one because it is on the upper side of the x-axis, above the x-axis. So above the x-axis, this is positive, positive. But when the profit is starting to going down, although the profit is still positive, it is still positive, yeah, usually people change the machine. So that's what we usually call useful life of machine. When this goes down, the profit goes down. Okay, although it is still profitable, it is usually time to change the machine. This way, T0. Okay, so to find the useful life of a machine, we have to find T such that P prime T. What is P prime T? P prime T is I want to find the monotonicity of the P prime, monotonicity of the P, monotonicity of the profit function. So I want to find when the profit function increasing function. Increasing function, so P prime T should be greater than 0. Okay, rate of profit is increasing. So P prime T is have to be greater than 0. What is P prime T? Okay, PT is just a revenue cost minus cost. So P prime T should be R prime T minus C prime T. So you have R prime T minus C prime T should be 0, and R prime T I can substitute from this one, minus C prime T. Don't forget use parenthesis. If you have minus, don't forget parenthesis. Yeah. So you have this one, you can multiply it 1 by 1 minus 2000 minus 2000 minus 10t squared. So 500 minus 2000 will give you 3000 minus 220t squared minus plus. So you will get minus 10 squared minus 20 minus 10 t squared. So you have minus 30 t squared. Okay, yeah? You can factor out 30 because this is the same 30, this one. So in you have 100 minus t squared is greater than 0. Okay, yeah? And you can factor out it, factorize this. 10 minus t, 10 plus t. You want to have a positive value. So you draw the sign diagram as always. As always, this is the sign diagram for P prime t. The sign diagram of P prime T, you have minus, plus, and minus here. Okay, yeah? So this is increasing, decreasing. So it is increasing until the 10 years from now. Until 10 years from now, it is an increasing function. So, questions? Questions, gentlemen? No? Okay. So it starts decreasing when t equals 10. And you know this is a local maximum, yeah? Local maximum. And don't forget, t, the years, should be positive. Years cannot be negative.
ngajakinnya Depok dan ini kemarin.
Question. Okay, and then don't forget t is must be positive, so the useful life of machine is 10 years. 10 years. After 10 years, the profit is decreasing. The profit is decreasing. It is still profitable, but the profit is decreasing. So the profit obtained during that period is just the integral of p prime t, yeah, the integral of p prime t. Don't forget p. What is p? P is a profit function. P prime is the derivative of p. So if you want to find the p, you have to integrate this. So you integrate this integral p prime t dt from 0 to 10, the useful life of the machine. What is p prime t? P prime t is r prime t minus c prime t. And you have this one, 3000 minus 30t squared. You can do this. Okay, yeah? So you can have this one. So you have, I can separate this, 3000 integral 1 dt minus 30t squared dt. Okay, yeah? Integral of 1 is just t evaluated at 0 and 10. So you have 10 minus 0 minus 30 times what is the antiderivative of t squared is 1/3 t cubed. So I have 1/3 t cubed evaluated at 10 and 9. So 10 cubed minus 0 cubed. So you have 30,000 minus 10,000, so you have $20,000. Hence, the profit is given by $20,000. So, do you have any questions? So, for the useful life of a machine, one thing to be kept in mind that what is the useful life of machine? That is time t, such that r prime t and c prime t, yeah, okay, yeah, such that the profit is decreasing. When the profit is decreasing, so the useful life of a machine is from 0 to that year. Okay, that is what we used to call the useful life of machine. This is a present value and future value of an income stream. When we are talking about the exponential and logarithm function, if you still remember, so I have this kind of formula. So future value, or we usually call the accumulated, is the present value. We usually say the principal times 1 plus r to the divided by n times nt. R is the interest rate, n is how many times it is compounded, nt is how many years, if you still remember. This is a formula for present value and future value of saving that has a compound interest. Saving that has a compound interest. But you just have one-time investment. One-time investment. You want to know what is the value after some years, or if I want to have in 5 years, I want to have $100. So how many dollars do I have to deposit to have $100 in 5 years? Okay, so that's the problem that we have already learned at the exponential and logarithm function. But don't forget, we also have the future value when the income, when the compound is compounded continuously. So this is changed with e to the power of rt, if you remember. So this is the formula for compound interest if the interest is compounded continuously. If the interest is compounded continuously, future value equals present value times e to the power of rt. Okay, so I want to find the problem is compounded continuously. So the interest, you have the interest every second, every millisecond, every microsecond, you have the interest. It is compounded continuously, compounded continuously. So I want to have, the problem is like this. An amount of money is transferred continuously with constant rate 1,200 per year, 1,200 dollar per year. Okay, it means in 1 year, this is maybe 1 year, an amount of money is transferred every millisecond. Every second you are transferred until the accumulation will give you $1,200. Sekali lagi ya. Jadi ini income stream, ini agak beda ya. Yang tadi itu kasih satu, nanti pada akhirnya berapa tahun jadi apa. Kalau yang ini income stream, artinya seolah-olah saya masukkan depositnya itu setiap waktu sampai total akumulasinya itu menjadi $1.200. Ya, bukan setiap waktu 1.200, bukan. Tapi dalam 1 tahun itu totalnya menjadi 1.200. Jadi seolah-olah ditransfernya itu setiap detik, seolah-olah ya. So it's like transferring money every second, and the accumulated for a year $1,200. Oke ya. If this is kalau ini seolah-olah ditabung setiap bulan, ini seolah-olah setiap bulannya ditabung $100. Oke ya. If transferred every week, so every week you have 1,200 divided by 52. So this is for every second, every millisecond. Yeah, we don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. What is for every second? What is the transfer? We don't know. Okay, but in total, I have $1,200. Okay, and the money is transferred with the same amount every time. With the same amount every time. Okay, so if the interest rate is per year 8% compounded continuously, don't forget compounded continuously, so you have e to the RT. So you have this one, A equals P times e to the RT. Okay, and T is how many years it is saved. What is the accumulation of the income stream in the next 2 years? In the next 2 years. So I can look at this like here. Okay, yeah. So this one is 2 years. 2 years. Okay, yeah. Now I notice divided the 2 years into n equal subinterval. Okay, I use n equal subinterval. This one. Okay, yeah. Equal subinterval. And this one. Okay, yeah. Let's say that this is n. Number n, yeah, we don't care really. And we look at this one. This is what we usually say. This is from time tj minus 1 until time tj, subinterval of this interval. So I have the sum of money. The sum of money is okay with, okay, the length of this is delta t years, delta t. We usually call this delta t. The transfer rate is $1,200 per year. So if you have, so for a half year, you will have how many amount of money? That is 1,000 times a half. So for a quarter of year, yeah, equals times a quarter. So for delta t years, so you have delta t times 1,200 delta t. So this in this period, you are investing money about 1,000 dt. This is your amount of money. Don't forget, you are calculating this until the end of term. This is 2 years. Okay, yeah? So how many years it is saved? So how many years it is deposited? How many years it is deposited? So if this is T, so you are depositing it for 2 minus TJ times. Oke ya, jadi kalau ini pada waktu ini itu kamu punya uang sejumlah ini, kamu investasikan seolah-olah kan sebanyak ini tahunnya, 2 dikurangi T. Kalau ini sampai waktu TJ ya, ini sampai waktu TJ, jadi 2 kurangi TJ. Jadi yang saya lakukan adalah, jadi yang terakumulasi, the amount of money accumulated is 1000 delta T times E to the power of interest rate times T. Waktunya mana? Waktunya dari ini berapa lama? Dari TJ sampai kedua. Kalau misalkan dari 3 sampai 5, waktunya berapa lama? 5 dikurangi 3. Kalau waktunya dari TJ sampai kedua, waktunya berapa lama? 2 time minus TJ. Okay, so you have this one times DT. Okay, so in total, if I sum all of this area, sum all of this one, so I have the total is the sum will give you integral. This, the function is the integrand. And delta T will become dt. Yeah, this is the same. This is the length times the width. Ini sama aja, panjang kali lebar. Panjangnya itu tinggi ini dikali dengan lebarnya. Lebarnya delta T. dt will become dt. Okay, ya. So in general, you can just memorize. If you want to find the accumulated or the future value, it is given by 0, integral 0 until the time t. T is how many? How many years? This is the t. Okay, ya. Of the income stream. Ft is the income stream, this one. Times e to the power of r minus T. What is T? T is this minus the T that is variable. That's why we have this one, 1200. This is FT times e to the power R, interest rate, times 2 minus T. 2 minus T. How many years that does it is saved? It is deposit. 2 minus T, dt. Okay, so I have this one, yeah, for the present value, yeah, I can do the same thing, but you can just memorize this, yeah. Present value is just 0t ft e to the power of minus rt without the t, without the capital T. Don't forget, capital T is constant. Capital T is constant. T is variable. Okay, yeah, dt. So if I have present value, you have capital T. If you present value, you don't have capital T. Yeah, you can just memorize that. But you have to differ between what is the question, the present value or the future value. Okay, yeah? So like this. You want to find the accumulation. So if you want to find the accumulation, you will have to find the future value, the accumulation after 2 years. Okay, yeah? And the future value is given by integral of the income stream, FT, the income stream. This is just constant. Yeah, in reality, it's not a constant. It's a function of T, a function of time. So you have 1200 times e to the power of r. R is the interest rate, 8%. Don't forget, in decimal, 0.08. Times capital T. Capital T is how many years? 2 minus T, that is variable, dt. Okay, so I have to find this. So how do I do this? Yeah, I cannot do this directly. So I have to use the substitution method. It's a substitution method. Okay, yeah. If I want to use the substitution method, I use U equals this one, yeah. So I want to make this e to the power of square What is the square? Square is 0.08 times 2 minus t. So u should be 0.08 times 2 minus t. What is du dt? What is the derivative of this? What is the derivative of this? This is just constant minus 0.08 t. So the derivative is minus 0.08. So du equals minus 0.08 dt. So what is dt? dt is 1 minus 1 divided by 0.01 du. This one. Minus 1 divided by 0.08 du. This is dt. And okay, yeah, don't forget the boundary. When t equals 0, you have 0.08 times 2. It will become 0.16. And if you have 2, you can this will give you 0. Because 2 minus 2 is 0 times 0.08. It will 0 also. So this one, change it to this. Don't forget, a constant can get out of integral. So you have the boundary change from 0 to 0.16 and 2 becomes 0. And e to the u times minus 1 over 0.08 du. Constant can get out of integral. So you have minus 1000 this divided by 0 and 0.8. So you have minus 15,000. Integral of this. What is integral of e to the u du is e to the u. And you can just substitute 0 and 0.16. So you have e to the power of 0 minus e to the power of 0.16. Okay, you can do this by calculator. Okay, it will become negative. So negative times negative is positive. Okay, so or you can do, if you don't have any calculator, you just multiply negative with this one. So you have negative times e to the power of 0, that is negative 1. Negative times negative this, so it will give you plus e to the power of 0.16. So you have e to the power of 0.16 minus 1. You can solve this by using calculator also. Okay, yeah. If you don't want to, if you just want to memorize this, you always can. Okay, yeah, you can just memorize this. And don't forget, in the exam, if you write down the formula, we give you mark also. Okay, yeah. Do you have any question from this? Yes, questions?
Oh, okay.
Sir, may I ask?
Yeah, questions.
Can you repeat again why du is suddenly negative 0.08? Why is it negative?
Oh, okay. You asked that why du is become this?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So u is, I can multiply this 1 by 1. This is 0.16 minus 0.08t. So what is du dt? The derivative will give you minus 0.08, isn't it? So what's your name? Zelika?
Angie, sir.
Your name?
Angie.
Angie. So du equals minus 0.08 dt. This one, Angie.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I missed that. So I have to clarify to you that this is this. Thank you very much, Angie.
Yeah,
The gentleman, questions? The gentleman, questions? Okay. So you don't want to ask. Okay. This is the last. This is the last example. This is the last application. That is not last, but it is all related. What we usually call consumer willingness to spend, consumer surplus, and producer surplus. Okay. So this one, the demand function of commodity is given by P. P is the unit price, equals dq. dq is demand, that is function of q. So we have this one, yeah. Don't forget, demand function is an decreasing function. This is a demand function. So if you have this one, if you buy this for, if you want to buy 1 unit, you have maybe 1 million. If you want to buy 10 units, you want to have a lower unit price. So the demand function will give you a decreasing function, while the supply function will give you an increasing function. Okay, yeah? You have already know this at the chapter 1. So the total amount that consumer are willing to pay for Q units. Okay, yeah. Then the demand function can also be taught at rate of change. Okay. I have already done this in the video, but you can just look at this. Okay, yeah. So the area of this is what we usually total amount consumer are willing to spend. Jadi kira-kira gini, kalau kamu satu di sini, kalau kamu beli satu, kamu akan bayar sebanyak misalnya 1 juta. Kalau kamu beli 10 di sini, kamu harus bayar misalkan 900.000. Jadi kalau 1 juta, ini. Jadi totalnya itu adalah kesediaan kamu untuk membayar. Biasanya kita sebut itu adalah total consumer willingness to spend. Satuannya apa? Satuannya tentunya adalah dollar per unit times unit will become dollar. Oke, ya. Ya, questions?
Enggak, tadi yang Bapak kan lagi ngejelasin area yang biru itu, Pak.
Ya.
Kecepatan terus nge-lag, Pak.
Oke.
Sorry, Pak. Boleh diulang?
Ya. Oke. Ya, jadi gini, total amount consumer or willingness to spend itu ya sebenarnya cuma luasan ini. Jadi untuk kalau kamu if you want to buy one item, you have 1 million. For if you have 10 units, you have 0.9 million and etc. So the accumulation of this, the area of this, dollar per unit times unit, dollar, is what we usually call the total consumer willingness. So total amount that consumer are willing to spend. Ya, kira-kira seperti itu ya. Jadi, so if I want to find the consumer surplus. So if someday at a certain goods you want to pay the unit price is P0 when the unit bought is Q0. So yang kamu bayar kan hanya segini, P0 dikali Q0. Kamu belinya 10 unit, harganya 1 juta. Yang kamu bayar kan segini, 10 unit dikali 1 juta. 10 juta yang kamu bayar. Tetapi total consumer of willingness kamu itu sebesar ini. Kalau kamu beli satu, if you buy one item, it will give you maybe this is 1.5 million. If you want to find 2 million, maybe the unit price is 1.4 million. So the total consumer of willingness is higher than what you daripada apa yang kamu beli. Yang kamu belinya hanya sebanyak P0 dikali Q0. Kalau kamu bisa di sini beli, you buy 10 units for 1 million, so you have spent 10 million. That is the area of this. But your total consumer your total willingness to spend is this one. Jadi kamu sebenarnya bersedia membayar segini banyak. Tapi kamu hanya bayar yang kotak ini. Jadi yang ini kita sebut, this is what we usually call consumer surplus. This area. Consumer surplus. Jadi how do I find this? Very easy. If this is Q0. This is P equals DQ. Very easy ya. This is Q in units. This is in dollar per unit. Because this is unit price ya, dollar per unit. So what is this? This is integral 0 to Q0 of dq. But I want to find this area. So I have to minus this one. Minus P0 times Q0. So this what we usually call the consumer surplus. That is the area of this. Very easy ya. You have the total consumer of willingness to spend, total amount of consumer willingness to spend. This one, integral from 0 to Q0 of the demand function. Don't forget, minus, kamu belinya berapa banyak at unit price berapa? Ya ini. So this is your surplus. Karena kamu membeli lebih banyak barang, jadi ini consumer surplusnya seolah-olah. Kalau kamu membeli lebih banyak barang kan lebih untung. Untungnya berapa? The profit is the consumer surplus. Oke ya? Oke ya? Oke, that's what we usually call the consumer surplus. So it is given by this integral of dq from 0 to q0, ya, area ini nih, area total ini dikurangi area ini. What is this? Nah, ini kan persegi panjang. This is just a rectangular shape with the length is q0 and the width is the length is p0 and the width is q0. So what is the total area is P0 times Q0. No wonder. So the consumer surplus is this. Okay, yeah? So this is the example. The unit price in dollar for every key units demand of certain is given by function this. I'm sorry, I forget to put the units. It has to be used dollar per unit because this is a unit price, yeah. Dollar per unit, dollars per unit. What is the total willingness and consumer surplus when there are 10 units are of good demanded or both? If you buy 10 units, so what is the total willingness to spend? The total willingness to spend is the integral from 0 to 10 of the demand function, dq. And the same, 100 times integral this, you can separate this, okay, yeah? And integral of 1, antiderivative of 1 is just q. Q evaluated at 0 and 10, you have 10 minus 0. Okay, yeah? Minus integral of q. What is antiderivative of q? This is a half q squared. Evaluated at q equals 0 and q equals 10. So you have this is 1,000 minus a half times 10 squared minus 0. So you have 10 squared is 100 divided by 2 is 50. 1,000 by 50 is $950. So as a consumer, you are willing to spend $950 if you want to buy 10 units of goods. Okay ya? But you bought it at, kamu belinya pada harga berapa? Q-nya 10. When Q is 10, the unit price is 100 minus 10. P, the unit price is 100 minus 10 when Q is 10. So you have $90. You bought 10 units in $90. So you spend $900. $900. So the consumer surplus is total willingness to spend. This one, 950 minus what you pay, 900. So you have a consumer surplus, that is you have advantages for $50. Oke ya, karena kan semakin banyak kamu beli, kan semakin murah. Murahnya segimana murahnya? Ya, consumer surplus. Consumer surplus, what we usually say. Oke ya. And the last one is what we usually say producer surplus. Producer surplus. So don't forget, producer surplus is the supply function. The supply function. Supply function is an increasing function. What do you mean? If you buy 1 unit, the unit price is 1 million. So if you are a producer, if your client want to buy 10 units, you want to have a higher one, maybe 1.1 million. Okay, yeah, this is what producer want. So it will give you an increasing function. Okay, yeah. So when you have, jadi gini ya. This is producer surplus. Okay, yeah. So if you bought 1 unit, you are really producer is expecting you buy at this one in 1 million. If you buy 10 million, the producer expected you buy with 1.5 million. So the producer expected that you are the profit expected by the producer is the area this, the area of this. This is the area that is expected by the producer. But you bought it for 10 units, you bought it at 1.5 million. So berapa banyak yang kamu bayar? 10 dikali 1,5 juta kan? Yang kamu bayar kan sebesar ini. So the producer have this advantage. So what we usually call the producer surplus. The producer surplus. Okay, yeah? And it is very easy, very easy. How do I find this? I find first the total expected amount of money that is paid by the consumer. That is the total expected profit. Expected profit for selling 10 units is integral from 0 to Q0 of supply function dq. Okay, yeah? That is the area this, that is the area, the black one. Okay, yeah? I want to find the green one. And you bought it at this. You bought it at this. So what is the green one? The total consumer surplus is equal to this area P0 times Q0 minus this one. So you have the green one. The red one total minus the black one. So you have the green one. What we usually call the producer's surplus. Okay, yeah? So a producer surplus is supplying key unit of, okay, the surplus is this one. This is an increasing function. Find the producer surplus when 5 units of goods are supplied. The unit price when 5 units of goods are supplied is, so you have to find the unit price first. Why? Because you are just given this one, the unit. I want to find the unit price because I want to have P0 times Q0. Okay, yeah? The producer surplus P0 minus times Q0 minus of this, the total expected profit. Okay, yeah? So the unit price is given by 10 plus 5 times 5. Why? Because you are 5 unit. You are substituting to the supply function. 10 plus 5 times 5. So you have $35 per unit price, yeah? $35 per unit. And the producer surplus is given by P0 times Q0. What is P0? P0 is the unit price, this one, 35. What is Q0? It is both at what units? 5. How many units? 5 units. So 35 minus, times 5 minus integral of SQ dq from 0 to the unit sold. So you can separate this minus 10, 1 dq minus 5 q dq. And you can simplify this, So the producer surplus is given by $62.5. No, this is the last example. This is the last example from me. The demand function and supply function of Q units of goods in the market are given by P equals this and this dollars per unit. Okay, yeah, respectively. So P is the demand function, P dq is demand function, and P equals SQ is the supply function. Okay, yeah? Find the unit market price, and the quantity correspond to this unit market price. So the market price will be symbolized, will be notated by PM. And the quantity correspond to this unit market price is QM. Okay, yeah. So I want to find the market price. How do I find the market price? it is the intersection point between the demand and the supply function. Demand and supply function. Okay, the market price. So you have this one equals this, and you can bring this to the right form, the right hand side, minus a half q squared become a half q squared. This is and 100 to the left hand side, right hand side. So you have this one minus plus this minus this equals this, and you have q squared minus 64 equals 0. And you have q equals minus 8 and q equals 8. Don't forget the quantity is always positive or non-negative. Okay, yeah. So QM, the market quantity should be 8 unit. And what is the market price? Market price you can substitute to the DQ or the SQ. It will be the same. Why? Because this is an intersection point. It will have the same height. You can substitute to either supply or demand function. For this, I will substitute to the demand function. 100 minus a half times the quantity is 8. So the market price is $68. Okay, ya, per unit ya, per unit. Okay lah. Okay ya. What and the consumer willingness to spend if KM units are both? Of what is the consumer willingness to spend? Very easy ya. Integral of dq from 0 to 8. And I can do the following calculation, and I have 714 2 over 3, that is 0.67. Okay, yeah. And the units is in dollars. Okay, yeah. And what is the consumer surplus? Oh, I use the formula, yeah. I can do it more quickly. Just this one minus PMQM. This one is integral 0 to 8 dq pan ini kan, this is this, 700 is this, minus PM times QM. PM times QM is 8 times 68. So I don't have to redo my calculation above. So I will just 700 minus 8 times 68. Okay, yeah. So you have 714 minus 544. So you have 170.67 or 2 over 3 2/3 dollars. Sorry. Okay, and the producer surplus. This is PMQM minus integral of supply function. Don't forget producer supply function. So if you have integral 0 to 8, 544. Why? This is the same as this, 6 times 8 times 68. So you have this one minus this one. You can do this calculation and you get in the end $300 producer surplus. So this is the last example. So for today we have talked about useful life of a machine. Okay, yeah. The main something that you have already you have to keep in mind, that is when the profit is declining, you have to change the machine. Okay, yeah? So when P prime T is less than 0, you have to change the machine. So we just want to have P prime T is greater than 0. Okay, yeah? That's the key point. And what about the present value and future value of an income stream? Don't forget, this is different from the present value and future value of a compound interest, compound interest saving with a compound interest. Ini beda ya. Ini income-nya itu adalah stream, artinya setiap detik, setiap milidetik dia ditransfer sejumlah, pada akhirnya accumulated-nya adalah 1.200. It doesn't have to be constant. It can also be 1,200 times T, depending on T. It can also be happen like that, yeah. You will find that so the function, when the function is not a constant, you can find it on the homework for next week. Yeah, I have posted at 11 just now. And the consumer willingness to spend, very easy. Just remember, just remember. Total amount consumer of willingness to spend are just this area. Okay, yeah. What is the consumer surplus? This area minus the square. So this one is the consumer surplus. So you have the integral minus the square. What about the producer surplus? Very, very easy. This is you bought at this value, and the expected profit is the area of this, and the producer surplus is this one. So you have to remember just the graph. Okay, in order to you remember the formula. So you have P0 Q0 is the area of this rectangular area minus the expected profit, this one, integral SQ dQ. So you have the producer surplus. Okay, yeah? This is just an example. Okay, any questions? Okay, yeah? If you do not have any question, we will have little quiz from 12 until 1 p.m. 12 p.m. until 1 p.m. Oke ya, 1 jam